Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to a new episode. By the way, if you can hear banging, it's my next door neighbors. I think they're doing some construction or whatever, but that is not going to stop me. As long as you guys can hear me, I'm happy. But yes, Eid Mubarak. I hope that your Eid was amazing. I hope that you had the most fun. It's been a while since I filmed. I had to take a break and also give you guys a break from my face and my voice. And I decided to come back with a name for this segment, like the podcast. For now, anyways, it's just a temporary name until I find something, because I'm not 100% sure about it. But I can't call it Ramadan series anymore, can I? So we're going to call it Reflections with A. So because that's what we do on this channel, we reflect, and with A, which is me, Aisha. For now, I might change it later on. You never know. So in today's video, we will be talking about our 5 daily salahs and like what I take from it and the inspiration that I want to give to myself and to you for us to make sure that we're praying. If you've read the title, you know that it's a mouthful. As the title says, stop missing your 5 daily salah. Okay. And this is coming from someone who's struggled a lot during my teenage years. I'm saying that like I'm 50. He struggled a lot to become consistent with my prayers, but now that I tasted now that I'm addicted to my prayers, alhamdulillah, oh my God, they're really ruining my video. I want to share with you guys. I want to put out there. I want you guys to also feel what I feel, like the peace of mind, like the happiness and the contentment that praying brings to me. So this video is for you for the person who hasn't been praying for years. You're Muslim, but you struggle with praying. And it's also for the person who has been trying to pray, but you're still not consistent. And it's also for the person who doesn't really see the reason why they should be praying as a Muslim. I just want to start off by telling you that you will never regret praying. You will never regret becoming consistent with your salah and dedicating those allocated times that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us throughout the day to pray. And I say that because apart from like all the blessings that I've encountered, that I've realized that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is best, that has put upon me just because of my prayer, I'm talking about just life in general. Yeah, for example, you're at work or you're doing something, you're just indulged in the dunya, you're doing everything else that has nothing to do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then 10-15 minutes later it's time to pray, let's say Asr. And if you leave everything that you was doing prior to that and you go pray, you will come back to that thing with a fresh mind. You will feel a lot better. And I say that because when for example, for me, when I'm doing my work, doing my assignments, I tend to be in the zone for hours and hours, sitting down just doing my work. But then now that, alhamdulillah, I'm someone who prays, I have to take that break whether I want to or not. But every single time I take that break during doing my assignment, this is just one example, and I'm using my assignments. Every single time that I take that break to go pray Asr or something, I come back with new ideas to write for my essay. And you're not bragging or anything, my work is always TT, always in the 70s plus. And the way I see that now is that you need a break from this dunya. We can't be like, we have 24 hours in the day, right? And we can't dedicate all those hours to everything else apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is why we have 5 daily prayers in the day, for us to remember, because the human being, we forget, and we forget very, very quickly. And the salah is there to remind us that, in fact, our purpose is not this dunya. Our purpose is to worship and praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I think that's also another reason why a lot of us struggle with our prayers. We struggle with a lot of things in this world because we don't know our purpose. And your purpose is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And even then, He made it very, very easy for us, because have you realized how your 5 daily salahs during the day will take you like a maximum of, I'm gonna stretch it and say 40 minutes out of the 24 hours that we have. But that is our purpose. That is the most important thing that you will ever do for yourself in that day. So just when I'm about to peak, right? Just when I'm about to get way too indulgent in whatever it is that I have to do, the prayer comes to remind me, come to Salah, come to prayer, come to success. And that is exactly what happens. And another thing as well that really made me feel very, very selfish once I finally established my prayers, which is, you guys, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does so much for us, right? And He's only asked a little bit from us. And on this channel, I'm always gonna say that it's easy, because for as long as you keep telling yourself that it's hard, it's only gonna be hard for you. It is easy. It's easy for you to start praying. It's easy for you to read your Quran. It's easy for you to stop 5 minutes and do your dhikr, because it doesn't take a lot. Like, your work will take a lot more out of you than you sitting down for 5 minutes and praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like I was saying, think with me, okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does a lot for us. He does the things that we've asked Him, and He does the things that we haven't even asked Him. When you leave your house and come back safely, that's protection. That's Al-Muhaymin protecting you. When you wake up in the morning, that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granting you another day, another chance to worship Him, another chance to seek His forgiveness. When you wake up and your family, they're all in good health, alhamdulillah, that's also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looking out for you. Your heart beats a good 100,000 times a day, and every single beat, it asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, can I beat for this person? And now imagine if one of those beats failed. What would happen to us? Imagine the heart asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He asked Him, Ya Rab, can I beat for Aisha? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no, don't beat. Is that not a favor of Allah upon us? Is it not? It is. So the way I saw that is that my Rabb has done so much for me. And that is not, I'm not saying that like you're praying because of the things that Allah does for you. But this is just for me to show you that Allah loves us the most. Yeah? He does things for us that we haven't even asked Him for. But then we cannot take a few minutes out of our day to pray and worship Him and tell Him, thank you for this. Thank you for everything that you've done for me. Thank you for everything that you haven't done for me. Thank you for the things that I know and the things that I don't know. I think once that I established that thought and started thinking, this is very, very selfish of me. It's very, very selfish of us to not dedicate those times to Allah. It changed. It changed for me. Like, now if I don't pray, if I was to not pray, I would feel very ungrateful to my Rabb, which is, it's exactly that. How can you be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if you can't do the minimum, the bare minimum that He's put on you, that He's made compulsory? And He hasn't made a lot of things compulsory on us. And then to top it off, when you then decide to do something that He has demanded upon you, He blesses you. Which, in this world, where do you see that? You go to work, not for free, they're paying you. The work that you do, you get paid for, and they will not pay you 1 cent more than what they have to pay you for. But then you have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that's put something up, that has put something upon us for us to do, and then He blesses us immensely. Like, He opens doors and doors for us. He grants us guidance. He puts your life back together. He helps you with things that you know, like, you need help for something sometimes. I watched a video where the Imam was saying there's a group of people where they don't even have to put their hands up. Obviously, we all have to put our hands up and make dua to Allah. But what he was saying is that we just have to think about a certain thing, or you're in a problem, or you're in a hardship, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens the doors for you like that quickly. You haven't even asked Him, but He's already there for you just because of the fact that you're consistent with your prayers and you're very timely with your prayers. So if you've been struggling with your prayers, everyone has their own battles, you know. Just remind yourself of your heartbeat. It's just as simple as that. That's one of the biggest blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for us and our anatomy and physiology. If something trips literally in the smallest AMP of your heart, you're done for. Not saying that you will die, but cardiac issues is the one thing that no one wants, that you don't wish on anybody, because you don't really come back from that. People have heart attacks and ACS and heart failure and all these things, but you never become the person that you was before. You don't. What they do is that they help you manage it. They help you live life with this new person that you are. And alhamdulillah, like so many of us, even those with heart problems, we don't have any of those problems. We're breathing, we're walking, we're talking, our limbs work, your feet work, your mouth work. You can smell, you can see, you can hear. Then this is not to discredit the people that can't see and hear, but I'm saying for us that have this amazing blessing upon us, and we take Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for granted, because that's what it is. When you don't pray, when we don't pray, we're taking our Rabb for granted. We're showing him that he is not important to us. And a few days back, last week actually, I was in my hospital prayer room, and I had finished praying, and a sister walked in. She walked in and she sat right in front of me, and I'm watching her, and she didn't get up once to do ruku. And I'm thinking, what is she doing? Because this sister, like, I'm paying attention to her, but I'm not paying full attention to her. She's sitting there for a while, and I'm thinking, she's not moved. Is she reading the Quran, or is she doing the zikr? This is me, like, minding her business instead of mine. But then I decided to look up, and you guys, this sister was on her knees, right? And she was praying, but she was praying, literally, all I could see was her doing this. And then she'd do that again. And I can't sit here and tell you what was wrong with her. But that touched me so much, to see her, regardless of whatever health problems or whatever it is that she had in that moment, she still decided to leave that, whatever, because she's a healthcare professional. I don't know what her profession was, but she decided to leave whatever it is that she was doing. Even though she couldn't stand up and pray, she still came and prayed. And that just put so many things in my head, and I'm thinking, and I even made a video on my TikTok saying, you guys, we need to make the most out of our youth. Make the most out of your youth when you're still strong, you're still able to pray. It's very easy for you to just run up the stairs quick time and go do wudu and pray. It's not an issue for us, because we will get older, and with age, a lot of health complications follow. And now we're at the age of 20 to 30, even late 30s, where we still have a lot of energy to do these things, and we're taking it for granted. We're not making the most out of it. How do you know that, God forbid, you're going to wake up one day and, for example, your limbs are not working, and now your ability to pray has been reduced? Even then you can still pray, but your ability to pray has been reduced. How do we know that in the future we will not be in that place? And the one thing that I know that we will regret, that I know that I would regret, is if I was ever in that stage, and in my early 20s, my 30s, I didn't make the most out of it worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is a regret that I know that you would hold, and I would also hold. You cannot say that you believe in La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you don't pray. That is the one thing that differentiates us from those who don't believe, is our prayer. because we have to pray. It's something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that is only beneficial to us. It's only increasing us in everything, in all types of goodness. It's only increasing us in protection. It's only increasing us in our connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I get it. You've been struggling, right? You've been struggling to pray, and it's never too late. It's honestly never, like, this is coming from me. Like, I've told you guys a million times on this page before. I was not someone who used to pray. And this is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that this is not me sharing my sins. This is just to show you that you can. And you can actually fall in love with your prayer. Like, the amount of, honestly, not praying just makes me depressed. And I feel very, I feel like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is slipping from me, even though He's always there with me. But that is, I can't help but feel like that. I can't help but feel like I'm losing my connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when I'm not praying. And I'm telling you that you can do it. You can also get to a stage where, even for the ladies, even during your menstrual cycle, you will miss praying. And by the time it's ending, you're yearning to pray. You're yearning to put your head down again and pray. And that is something that Allah subhanahu, alhamdulillah, I've actually felt. And I'm telling you that you can be there as well. But you won't be there unless you start praying. You won't get there unless you take the steps to start praying, okay? And if you haven't been praying, the first step is your intention. You need to start off with the intention where you're telling Allah that you want to start praying. You haven't been doing it. You seek His forgiveness. You tell Him that, well, He knows anyways, but you tell Him that you've been struggling. You've not been doing it, but now you want to. Because this misconception that we have of thinking that I'm going to live my youth, I'm going to live my teenage years, and then when I'm older or when I'm in my late 30s and stuff, I'll then start praying. How do you know that you will make it to your late 30s? Who has promised you your late 30s? Who's even promised you tomorrow? How do you know that you will make it? And I think, honestly, it's such a huge gamble for you and me to say that we believe in La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and for us to know that tomorrow is not promised, and for us to know that we can be gone at any day, and for us to also know that we don't know when you're gonna die. I honestly think it's such a huge gamble for you to not pray. If you didn't believe in that, then that's a different story, you know. But you've said that you're a Muslim and you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you believe in the angels, and you believe in the books, and you believe in the day of judgment, and you believe in his qadr, but you don't pray. That's a huge gamble for you. That's something incredibly dangerous for you. Apart from it being dangerous and just not of a Muslim's character, it is selfish. It's honestly very, very selfish from us to not try our best to become consistent in our prayer. Like, that's the least that we can do. But let me tell you something. I'm sitting here telling you that the least that you can do is become consistent with your prayers. But is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not a Rahman? Because you know, when you start praying, when you become consistent and you're starting to get in your groove of things, the next thing that will come is you wanting to pray your sunnah. Is you becoming more consistent with the Quran. Is you becoming more consistent with doing your adhkar. Because it won't just stop there. I'm telling you, the first step is for you to start praying. And after that, like, all the goodness, all the other types of ibadah that we can do for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will follow. It will come. And I remember another reason why, was something else that used to really stop me from praying back in the day, apart from, honestly, just heedlessness. I don't know why I can't speak sometimes. Is the fact that I used to think, I don't wear the hijab. I don't feel worthy enough to pray. Don't do that. Don't be that person. You don't need to have your life together or have all the other things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said for us to do in check for you to pray. prayer should be the first thing. And let me give you another example again. Back to my prayer room in the hospital. I get sisters walking into that prayer room with no hijab, and there's honestly, wallahi, there's no judgment there. I honestly, it's amazing to see. They walk in there with no hijab. They put their hijab on and pray. And I am telling you that eventually, just because of that prayer, just because of the fact that they pray, inshallah wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will guide them to wear the hijab. So if you're thinking that you have to have everything else in place for you to start praying, that's wrong. No, start praying now, regardless of the sin that you're committing. Don't let shaitan fool you into thinking that way, because it's wrong. It's wrong. Honestly, those feelings and those thoughts won't go away until you have to pray. So start praying. Start praying. Take it one step at a time. I remember when I started, it was my biggest struggle had always been Fajr, and I think we can all agree when we say like Fajr is probably one of the hardest, even though it's only 2 rakat, because of our sleep. But I'm telling you, I'd pray Duhur, and I'd pray Asr, and then I struggle with Maghrib, and I struggle with Isha. But then when I said to myself, I can't keep doing this. Like, why am I praying 2 prayers out of the day or 3 prayers out of the day when it's been prescribed 5? When I started praying them all, I just felt myself getting, number one, a lot closer to Allah. I started feeling a lot more connected to Him. I started feeling very much, I want to do more. Like, I like this feeling, I want to do more. And the thing that Salah does, it replaces everything else that you used to be like this with. It replaces it and with something else. It's honestly easy. Don't tell yourself that it's hard to pray your 5 a day, because the things that you say, our brain can't really differentiate the feelings and our thoughts. It literally takes it all the same. If you tell yourself that I'm dumb, if you keep telling yourself that, you will internalize it, and by internalizing it means that your brain will believe that, and in result you will start believing that. So your 5 daily prayers is not hard, okay? You will struggle the first times to become consistent, but I'm telling you, a week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks down into it, you will be okay. And this is not me saying that you will have total concentration or your prayer will be 10 out of 10. No. That is not what I'm saying. Honestly, I don't even know if there's anyone out there. Actually, there could be. I don't know. But I was going to say, like, I don't know if there's anyone out there whose prayer is 100% to the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants. But that is not what Allah is asking from me. That is not what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking from me. He's not telling us for our prayer to be perfect, because He knows, like, He made us. He knows our human nature. That is impossible. As soon as you start praying, your mind starts wavering. You start thinking about other things. But then when you start fighting that, your mind will still waver once in a while. You will still start thinking about other things, but it won't be as much as it used to be before. So stop praying. I said that so many times, but stop praying. And another thing that I wanted to ask you, right? Because we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has all the rights upon us. He created it. He created us. He's our Rabb. He could do anything that He wanted to us whenever He wants. But then He doesn't. But you're still someone who doesn't pray. Now let me ask you. Imagine every single time that you missed a salah, that you missed a prayer. Imagine Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starved you, for example. Imagine He took food away from you every prayer that you missed. That is five prayers. Imagine He did that. Imagine you didn't pray Fajr and Allah took food away from you and you starved for Fajr. You starved that day. Imagine you didn't pray Dhuhr and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took food away from you. Or He took water away from you. Imagine He did that. But did He do that though? He didn't. He didn't do that. He still gave us the chance to be able to come back to Him. And this is why I'm here. You still, like, the doors to Allah are still open. The doors for you to prove to Him that indeed you do believe in La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, are still open. Okay? Please, you guys, let's make the most out of our youth, out of our elderliness. Honestly, we take prayer for granted, like say it's not for our own good. And that is why I said we don't know our purpose, because if we knew, we would be doing it. Honestly, we if we truly understood and we truly internalized our purpose, we would be doing it. Because the way you'd start thinking about it is now, oh, okay, even though I have this beautiful room, even though the dunya is so pretty, there's so many things to do out there, my purpose is not that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't put us in this world for us to enjoy. That is a bonus, that is a plus. He didn't put us in this world for everything to go our way. That is a plus, that is a bonus. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't put me and you in this world for us to go to work and make money. That is a plus, that is a bonus. Our purpose is to worship and praise Him. And the worship and praising Him does not take the 24 hours that He has granted us. It doesn't. So once you start thinking like that, it becomes a lot easier. Like it's just a few moments out of our day. And then the blessing and the rewards for those little few moments are immense. Honestly, it's the best thing that we can do for ourselves. Let me tell you another story. I had a patient again where I was working, and he was an Arab man. Me and him, we connected because Muslims, like how you're my people, we're from the same community. And there wasn't a time that I was not in that ward, right, that I didn't see that man, even though he had heart issues, because I work in a cardiac ward. And the reason why he was there was because of his heart. That did not stop that man, regardless of whatever it was that he was doing, even though he was just lying on the bed. The man would call us and ask us to bring him a chair. He'd turn his chair around, sit down and pray. Even though I was only there for the Dhuhr, Asr, and Maghrib time. That's the time period that you'd see that man sitting there and praying. Regardless, and he's what's it called? His bodily function was already declining on him, but wallahi, that did not stop him from praying. And and I know, like, I'm not the only one. We see, how many videos do we see online of people that are like amputated and all these things, but that does not stop them from praying. And I'm saying this because it's very selfish for you and me, who have all our limbs working just fine, and we're not doing it. Honestly, it's so selfish of us. Another example as well, and this actually just happened like a few days ago. There was a very, very poorly man that we was looking after from Kenya, and he was Muslim. And the man was passing away. You guys, he literally passed away in front of me. That was a very, very traumatizing thing, by the way. The man passed away in front of me, but before that, when we suspected that he was probably going to pass away today, we called the family members and we said, if you want to come spend time with your grandfather, your dad, you can. And the family member came, and in the morning, he lasted throughout the night, and in the morning, he passed away. But like, the beautiful thing about that, the reason why I'm telling you this is because his grandchildren, his family, it was, oh my God, they came to read the Quran on top of this man. And I don't know if it was his son or if it was the grandson. He was literally praying next to his grandfather whilst he was dying. And to me, that is just so beautiful. It just shows that these people know and understand how important Salah is. They know that, like, living or dying, Salah is one of the most important things for us Muslims. Whatever it is that's like holding you back from praying, and it's holding you really, really strong because it knows how beneficial it is for you to pray. It knows how you would change completely if you started to pray. The same way that thing, whatever it is holding you back. That's with the same strength or even more that you have to fight that thing so you can start praying as well. And you guys, I've said it so many times on this video already, but it's honestly the bare minimum. It's the bare minimum that we can do. It's the bare minimum that you will do, which then will bring all the other less minimum things, all the maximum XP things, because you start praying and a lot of other goodness follow you. You start changing. And then I know that there's people that pray and that does not make them a good person. Okay? But prayer is a lot stronger than a person's character. If you're truly devoted, if you truly decide that you're doing this for the sake of Allah, I think I would say that is the difference between those people, because you see that a lot. Like, just because someone prays, that does not mean that they're good or, But I would say that the difference is that, are they doing it for sabilillah? Are they doing it for the sake of Allah? It's all about your intention. I'm telling you, if you're praying because you want the pleasure of Allah, that is what you're gonna get. Because Allah is as we see Him. He is as you see Him. If you think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what do we call it? If you think that He's, I don't even want to say that. If you think that He's bad, that's probably how everything else around you will be. And that is not to say that that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doing it. No, it's once again, it's your brain, it's your beliefs, it's the way that you see things, And let me tell you, there is no better feeling, honestly. Top 2, and it's not number 2. There isn't a better feeling than making your way back to Allah after you've been lost for a very, 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 very long time. There isn't a better feeling. And there isn't a better feeling than you making a mistake or doing something wrong and running back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and asking Him for forgiveness. There isn't. But how are you gonna get these feelings if you're not praying? It's through prayer that we get this contentment, that we get this reassurance. Honestly, I'm telling you, seeking forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As soon as I finish praying, I'm convinced, I believe, I feel it, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forgiven me. I feel that I have a new leaf. I have a new chance. And you don't get that with humans. We don't get that with people. You do wrong to a person, they may forgive you, they may not. But you see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you truly and you mean the sorry and you're asking for forgiveness, it's gone, it's wiped out. And even if you was to go do that again, gone, wiped out. But you don't have those leniencies with human beings. And this is not to say for us to now go and take the piss and commit a sin just because you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive you. That's a whole different story. But honestly, when you're in that genuine moment where you need nothing but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's forgiveness and He forgives you, and you do tawbah and you feel that in your heart that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has just forgiven me. He's just given me another chance to prove Him, to show to Him again that, I want to do better, I want to become better. But once again, how will we do that if we're not praying? How will you show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you're trying to change if the number one thing that He's prescribed upon us we're not doing? You will never, when I say never, I mean never, you will never regret being a person who prays. You will never regret your salahs. Even if you may have made a mistake during prayer, you won't regret that salah, because you know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most forgiving. And what He's looking at is your intention. You will never regret being someone who prays. You will never regret being a person who is trying their best to show to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who does everything for you, even the things that you've not asked Him for. You will never regret that. You will never regret being that person. And with that being said, if you're watching this and you're struggling with your prayers, please take this as a sign for you to start praying. In fact, go do wudu now and go pray. Even if it's not time to pray, go just do 2 rakats and pray. And when you start thinking of not praying, remind yourself that it's very selfish of you not to. It's very ungrateful of us not to pray. And also remind yourself that that is the first question that we will be asked on the day that we pass away. How were your prayers? Were you someone who prays? And you want to be able to confidently say, yes, I used to pray. I was someone that prays. I might do a video on the blessings that I've seen just from prayer. I didn't really want to focus too much on that because the purpose of this video is not to say that you have to pray so you can receive blessings, because I don't think it's ideal to have that type of relationship with Allah where you're only doing something because you want something back in return from Him, That's why I didn't really go. But I might do a video on that, on the blessings that I've seen. Even though I've touched in previous videos, I might do like just to sit down, just to tell you guys that, to see if that will encourage you as well. But I hope that this video has reached you. If you need it, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put it on your timeline on YouTube. And please do like, because when you do like, once again, YouTube pushes out the video, and you never know who's out there who may need to hear this. And I hope that you benefited, and I will inshallah see you on my next video, inshallah. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Okay, bye.